So it's one of those things that a lot of people, including myself, talk about as being one of the great benefits of the flow arts, namely the community. But how exactly do you plug into it, especially when you are kind of spinning in solitude and everything? Where is this community? Drex here from DrexFactory.com, bringing you poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And today I'm going to tell you how you can find your flowmies. That is, the people that you get to spin with, so that you all can enjoy the love of flow together. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies and the work that they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So I'll be real with you, getting into the flow arts was not really something that stuck for me until I found a community to plug into. This would have been way back in like 2007 when I was still living in Denver. Finding the Confluence Park Fire Jam that happened down on the South Platte River every single Sunday was what took poi spinning from just like kind of a thing I did casually to something that was really a ritual part of my life. The people that I met there were so incredibly warm and welcoming. I don't think it's a stretch to say that if I hadn't found that community, I probably would not have made poi as central a part of my life as I did. So that's all well and good for me, and you know, kudos to me for finding this in the era back before social media and everything. But how exactly are you going to find your flowmies in this day and age? Well, there are some old methods and some new methods, but any which way you look about it, you're gonna have to put yourself out there just a little bit. But I do guarantee that the results are worth it. So let's explore some options here, and maybe we'll find something that's a good fit for you. So without a doubt, the method that is guaranteed to bring more flowmies into your world is actually to teach what you know to another person. This could be a friend, a family member, a coworker, who knows, just somebody that you happen to encounter in the park as you're spinning and be like, hey, do you want to learn how to do this too? Like, what we do kind of has a lot of wow factor to it, and you may not feel like you're in a place where you can pass what you know on to somebody else, but it's also one of those things that it creates a space where the two of you get to explore things together. And who knows, once there are two of you, there might soon be 3, 4, 5, who knows how many of you, all exploring things together. And I know that this is kind of a tough sell, especially to people who may suffer from different forms of social anxiety. It can be a lot to try and put yourself out there in this way. But if this is a thing that you think you are capable of, then you'd be surprised at how fast you can build a community around just yourself. Now, totally at the other end of the spectrum in terms of putting yourself out there and requiring you to engage in skills that you may or may not have is something that you likely already have if you're watching this video, namely a smartphone. So this is a thing that I'm shocked didn't exist before this, but there's now an app that's called Flow Arts Meetup that you can download both on Android as well as iOS that is going to geotag people all across the country that have signed up for the app so that you can connect with people, so that you can create spin jams and other kinds of events. Not only can you find people that happen to be close by you, you can direct message them or you can search for events. Plus which, if you happen to be traveling and you find yourself in a different city, you can really easily pull up the app to see who might be around you or what events might be happening close by. So seriously, download this app, and major kudos to the developer Ty Rochford for creating this, because seriously, we've needed something like this for a long time. I tried developing something like this once upon a time, and I just didn't have the investment of time to put into it and everything. So thank you, Ty, and I hope you all get a lot out of this. Okay, so we talked about methods for finding flowmies that are on the high engagement end of the spectrum and methods on the low engagement end of the spectrum. So let's talk about some methods that are in between, shall we? One way that you can find people to spin with is to seek out spin jams in your area. Now, there's a variety of ways that you can find spin jams, so let me go through some ways that I have found them in the past. One way you can do this is if there happens to be a circus school in your town, go check their schedule and see if they offer either a flow or juggling jam. A lot of them do. You know, places that have large indoor areas tend to be pretty good for this. Or there might be a regular event that gets posted to Facebook in your area. Facebook has this feature wherein you can actually pull up up events that are in your area that you haven't been invited to and kind of explore. There might be a flow jam in your area, but this is also kind of like casting your hook into a big ocean, and there's no guarantee that you're actually going to catch anything. Word of mouth is another great way to go on this. If you already have one or two friends, you can ask them if they've heard of any spin jams in your area. One of the more common ways that I've seen people tackle this actually is to post to Poi chat, asking if there are people in a given city that get together and flow regularly. When this works out well, generally speaking, there's either an event or a Facebook group that you can get connected with. Poi chat right now is in the tens of thousands of people across the world, so I would say that this is a pretty big net to cast. But also bear in mind that there's so much that goes on there that sometimes these posts get lost. And of course, if you're in a pinch, you can also just do a search either on Facebook or Google for spin jams in your area and see if anything pops up. Problem is that very frequently the creative types that are attracted to creating events such as this will also sometimes come up with really creative names that are not terribly intuitive to search for. So your mileage may vary, but hopefully overall, if you're, say, in Houston, Texas, you can do a Google search for Houston Spin Jam and something helpful will come up, you know? All right, so we've talked about teaching friends, we've talked about searching on the internet, we've talked about smartphone apps. There's another option I want to put out there simply because I think we need more people embracing it, and that is to host an event. So this is not quite the same thing as teaching your friends how to spin. It is high up there on the engagement scale, but the rewards from it are pretty high as well. And basically what this amounts to is rather than seeking out a spin jam in your area, you can start a spin jam in your area. Like create that Flow Facebook group for your city, create that Facebook event. If you want to go this far down this road, I've actually found that Facebook has remarkably comprehensive tools for being able to advertise events. Like if you want to throw $5 onto it and everything, Facebook actually has ways that you can target people that live in your area that happen to like circus or like juggling or like hooping or like poi spinning or what have you. You can actually create an advertisement for your event that Facebook will do the hard work for you in finding the people in your area that have said they like these things and connect them to you. That's clearly not going to be a solution that works for everybody, but it is a solution that I would really like to see more people embrace. There are so many places in this country and abroad where there are opportunities for people to have a meeting of the minds, and they just lack a venue to be able to do it at. And this is a really special gift that you can give to your community. Lots of people are going to be really appreciative of it, so keep that in mind. Of course, how you put together a spin jam is an entirely different ball of wax, which we do not have time for in this video. But hey, if that's a thing that you would like to learn about, please let me know down in the comments. If you would like to learn how to put together a spin jam in a box, that is a thing that I could create in a video or some other resource for you, and I'm more than happy to do that. What's the best way that you've found to connect with your Flowmies? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious if y'all have some tips and tricks out there that I haven't thought of, because you know, especially when I travel, every once in a while I want to connect with people and I don't necessarily have an easy way of doing it. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to make sure that other people get to see this video too. It is always a treat for me seeing how far the reach gets on these and how many lives it impacts, so help me do it. And of course, a huge thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. They made this video and all the videos on this channel possible. It has been an extraordinary privilege to be able to create something that people enjoy so much that they're willing to go sign up to support you doing it and everything, especially having just come out of the quarantine, wherein the amount of people that showed me love that way was like overwhelming. So if you would like to sign up to support the work that I do, and I totally understand if you don't have the means to do that, but if you do, head on over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and sign up. You'll get early access to all of my content as well as a say in topics I pursue in the future. This video itself was voted on by my supporters on Patreon. I'll also post some behind the scenes stuff there on occasion too. But yeah, go check that out, please and thank you. Cool, so I will be back on Monday and I will have a very interesting video for you on poi terminology, wherein I spend far too long talking about the merits of different terms related to timing and direction. So if you're enough of a poi geek that you want to dive into that rabbit hole, come find me on Monday, because it's going to be a deep one, yeah? Awesome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Peace.